Hi everyone, and welcome to the guided tour of the Enchanted Forest Trail to Mount Lowe. On this tour, we'll be visiting the Echo Mountain House Hotel, the Alpine Tavern, and finally, Inspiration Point. To get here, just type Loma Alta and Lake in Altadena in the maps.google.com website and you'll arrive at this location. Also, if you're parked on these streets after 10 p.m., you will get a ticket. So your best bet is to park on any of these side streets. There are lots of critters roaming around, so be careful where you walk. And yes, you're looking at a snake. So please, watch where you step. Let's get started. Begin by walking to the right of this huge gate, and now you've entered the Cobb estate. This estate was once owned by a rich lumber magnate named Charles H. Cobb in 1916. If you follow this driveway path as it curves to the left, it'll take you to his remnants of his old mansion. However, we're going to turn to the right, where that sign says Trail. Now there's no water on top of the mountain, so the last time you're going to see water is from this water fountain, so fill up. Next to it is a tagged up sign, and next to that is a trail sign that reads Sam Merrill Trail. The Castle Canyon Trail Junction and Echo Mountain are 2.5 miles ahead. The path is to the right of this sign. Now I never planned to record the entire hike up because there's only one path anyway, so you can't get lost. However, I will show you the entrance of the trail so you know where to begin. Now take your time and be careful. Certain areas of the trail can be very dangerous. Also, if you plan on hiking to the top of Inspiration Point, then you're looking at a round trip about 12 miles, so be prepared. See that sign? This is the entrance of the trail. You are here, and this is the trail you'll be taking to the top. So I'll begin recording again once we get to this part of the trail. Hit it, Benny! About an hour and a half later, you'll be at the top, and you'll see the cement sign that says, to the left is the Echo Mountain Trail. This trail takes you to the old railway that led guests up to the Alpine Tavern and Inspiration Point. We'll mark it as the Echo Mountain Trail, and we'll come back to this trail later. So turn to your right, and this sign says, to Echo Mountain. So follow this path. Up ahead, we're going to stop and turn to the left, and there's another sign that says Sam Merrill Trail. Mount Lowe Campground is 3 miles away. Mount Wilson Road is 7 miles away. This trail leads you to the Sam Merrill Monument, the observatory, and eventually Inspiration Point and the Alpine Tavern. We'll mark it as the Sam Merrill Trail. So continue down this path, and yet again, we're going to stop and turn to the left, and this cement sign says Castle Canyon Trail. This trail takes you to Inspiration Point, and eventually also Alpine Tavern. We'll mark it as the Castle Canyon Trail. Continue up the path, and to the right, you'll see the remains of an original trolley car. Now, if you come up here with the rangers like Brian Marcroft, Lee Ziebold, or John P. Harrigan, who wrote a book about the engineering aspect of Echo Mountain, then they'll give you a little extra background history about this location. Let's listen in.
In that collection at the Railway Museum is a survey. They sent some employees out here in 1940 to assess vandalism. And on their notes, one of their notes says 3 wheel sets pushed over the mountainside. We'd comb this mountainside all through the bushes for about a year, looking for anything we could find. That's how this is all discovered.
Continue on this path. You'll come across lots of steps where guests could walk down to the dance hall, casino, or tennis courts. Of course, it's completely empty now. Keep walking, and to the right is the power station, which ignited the fire that burned the rest of the buildings here on December 9th, 1905. To the left are more stairs. This is the bull wheel that pulled the incline trolley cars up Rubio Canyon. By the way, if you do a Google search of Echo Mountain, you'll see a green tag that reads Mount Lowe Railway Historical Marker. That marker is found next to the bull wheel. So let's continue. If you turn to your right, you'll see where the powerhouse, aka cable house, was located. And on top was the world's largest searchlight at 3 million candle power. Turn back around, and now we're going to walk up the stairs. Do a quick panoramic view, and now you're entering the Echo Mountain House Hotel ruins. This is the current sign. However, I created a new sign that looks like this. Hopefully it'll be up the next time you come. So here is the Echo Mountain House Hotel, which opened on November 24th, 1894. It was the Disneyland of its time. Now, since you made it this far, I'm leaving you a little treasure. $5 was the cost for a day's stay in the hotel. By the way, multiply that by 12 to adjust for inflation in 2012. I'll even give you a hint where I left it. Rock, treasure, rock. Let's continue. Up ahead is the reservoir. And that's me. And here is Professor Lowe, whose dream it was to build a railway in the clouds. Behind that is the echophone. It's said that if you yell loud enough, you can hear your echo up to 9 times. If you look above towards the mountain, in between those two peaks, you'll see a roof far in the distance. That's the roof from Inspiration Point. So now turn around and head to the east part of the site, and you'll find the Chalet, a 12-bedroom hotel. Follow that arrow to find the love seat. Here it is. And here's Professor Lowe and his wife Leontine. And that's the fountain right behind them. This is all that's left of the fountain. Here's the chalet one more time. But now let's go back to the beginning to learn how this incline trolley system worked. Are you ready? Now we're at the beginning. So travel to the east. Right about here, a trolley traveling from Altadena would make its first stop at the pavilion in Rubio Canyon. Guests would get off and hop onto another trolley that went up on an incline known as the Great Incline, which had its grand opening on July 4th, 1893. And as one trolley went up, another came back down. Here's an old video I got from YouTube. The tracks were shared, so here it shows how the tracks divided so 2 cars could be operated simultaneously. The length of the incline track was 3,000 feet, and at 4 miles per hour, it would take 6 minutes to reach the top. During the ride, guests had an amazing view of the city below. Once they arrived, photographer Charles Lawrence would take their picture, and they could purchase this wonderful souvenir. Then the guests would get off the incline trolley and get into another trolley that would take them through the Echo Mountain Trail up to Alpine Tavern. Along the way, they will pass historical spots like High Bridge, Sentinel Rock, and the Cape of Good Hope. Notice the cars parked here and this road that leads up the mountain? Well, let's go back to the beginning once again, and I'll show you how to bring your car up here. First, drive west on Loma Alta and make a right turn on Cheney Trail. You can't miss it. It's the only street with a flashing yellow light. Drive up this winding road, and when you get right about here, there'll be a locked gate. And if you park your car, you must have an adventure pass, which looks like this. It's only $5 and can be purchased anywhere from these locations. But if you go with the rangers, they'll open the gate, and now you can drive this long road until you finally arrive at the Cape of Good Hope. Then you can continue up the road in your car. The road is a little bumpy, of course, but it sure beats walking. The other historical spots are the Don Mine Station, Horseshoe Curve, Circular Bridge, and finally, Granite Gate. Along the way, the rangers stop and explain various sites to everyone. Then it's time to take the long road in the final stretch to reach the Alpine Tavern. And here it is, the Alpine Tavern. The Alpine Tavern was opened on December 14, 1895. Unfortunately, tragedy struck all the buildings in Mount Lowe within a few years of being established. Either accidental fires or Mother Nature herself caused its destruction. It became so bad that the Forest Service deemed the sites hazardous. And from 1959 through 1962, every building that was still left standing, they loaded them up with dynamite, and they blew it all up. This is all that remains today, and it's now called the Mount Lowe Trail Camp. There's a lot of kiosks here, and the rangers bring a lot of valuable information and history. Warning, if you're going to bring your dad's brand new Suburban, make sure you wax it afterwards before you give it back, because it will get scratched up. Last year, my friend did this to my dad's truck. Well, the dents are still there, but hey, the wax job came out really great. Anywho, from here, the trail continues up this hill. When you get here, you'll come across a sign that reads, "Go left to Mount Lowe, Mount Wilson." This 4-mile hike will take you to the Mount Lowe summit. Oh, and here was the other tennis court. This was the same sign you just saw, but look at the sign in the background, because the one next to that says, Sam Merrill Trail. This is the end of the Sam Merrill Trail that began at the bottom. If you go into this trail a few feet, you'll be inside what was once the Schleicher Fox Farms, where they would breed foxes and grow them to be used as furs. It's completely desolate now. So follow the path up this hill. And now you'll arrive at Inspiration Point, where you'll see an incredible view of the cities below. There was even a mule named Herbert that would push guests on a small trolley car another 1.5 miles east. That's the direction Herbert traveled. Up here is Easter Rock. Down this trail, which is this trail, there's a sign back here that says Castle Canyon Trail. This is the end of the Castle Canyon Trail that began at the bottom. On that trail, you'll find remnants of an old cabin owned by Lewis and Molnar. You can get a great view of Echo Mountain and downtown from here. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this guided tour through Mount Lowe. I'll add more detailed information in my description, and if you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Until next time, see ya!